Before you go charging ahead and order yourself a Tesla Model 3, you need to watch this video because I'm going to give you ample information about what Tesla charging is all about. But don't worry if you don't own a Tesla, because this applies to other manufacturers like Volkswagen. It might even convince some of you resistors out there that electric is the way forward. I'll go into the current price because obviously with tax incentives it might change, and I don't want you getting a shock when the bill comes. But I think you'll be pleasantly pleased with the savings you can make with electric. Some might even say ecstatic. Fingers crossed we can transform more people over to electric cars. Now before we do that, let's take some Zen time. Did I miss any puns there? I thought that was a pretty exhaustive list, to be fair. If I did miss any, put them in the comments below because I love a good pun. I might try and throw some more in as we go, because to make a video fun about charging an electric car is going to be quite a challenge. If you haven't already, hit subscribe because this is going to be a two-parter. First one on charging the electric car, the second one on electrifying your garage. But as I thought that one might not apply to everyone, I'll make it a separate video. In this video, we'll look at all your options for Tesla charging and how to charge your Model 3 from home. I'll also run through my setup, which means I get free charging from my solar panels. First of all though, some excellent news. If you just spent all your money buying a Tesla Model 3 and you've got no money left for home installation of a charger, well, you get some Tesla charging cables with the car, which means you can just plug your car into the 3-pin socket at home, just like your phone. You probably need a bigger USB adapter though. Now before I get into how slow that is going to charge your car, I need to explain some of the science so you know what I'm talking about. If you've got a Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus, your battery is about 50 kilowatts. If you had a 1 kilowatt charger, that would take about 50 hours to charge. Simple enough. So all you need to do is take 50 divided by the kilowatt rating for that charger, and that's going to be roughly how long it will take to charge your car from flat to full. Clearly then, the higher kilowatt rate, the quicker your car is going to charge, and that's why like the Tesla superchargers at 250 kilowatts are super quick. You can sometimes see the charge rate as miles per hour that it's adding to the car, but because I have my car set in percentage wise, I see a kilowatts per hour getting put in. The reason I have it in percentage is because depending whether I'm on motorways, towns, winter, summer, the actual miles is a pretty rough estimate. I think if you work on the basis it'll be 3 miles per kilowatt in winter and then 4 miles per kilowatt in summer, you probably won't go too far wrong. So this is the Tesla charging cable that comes with your Model 3. You get a nice little bag to put it in with Tesla written on it, and it's got this grippy surface so it grips to your boot quite well, although I keep it in my front. It comes with this adapter, if you're into that kind of thing. But also, as you can see, it's got the 3-pin plug, so it just plugs into a normal socket. This is the other Tesla charging cable, and it's so you can plug into public networks when you're out and about. And if you bought an untethered home charger, you'd need to use this. I bought a tethered charger just so this could stay in my front, so if I needed public chargers, it was easy to get access and I wouldn't have to take it with me every time I went out in my car. So this is rated at 2.3 kilowatts, which means if we go back to our maths from earlier, a 50 kilowatt battery is going to take 24 hours or thereabouts to charge. Remember though, you're meant to keep your battery in the sweet spot between 20 and 80%, so realistically it's not going to take 24 hours, but if you do a long daily commute, you might struggle to get the charges in between each day. I lived on this actually fine from September to November when I got my charger installed, but I don't do many miles. This adds about 10 miles per hour, so if you kind of work that out on that basis, that might give you an indication whether this is suitable or whether you need to get a home charger installed. The bonus if you want to get a home charger installed though is there's loads on the market. So this is the home charging unit that I went for. It's the Zappi V2 from MyEnergi. It's rated at 7.2 kilowatts, which means it will charge your car by 50% within about 4 hours. Now you can see it's tethered as well, so that means I don't have to worry about my Tesla charging cable getting it out when I get home, because I can just plug in and leave the cable in the car. There are government grants that will help you buy one of these, but it has to be an eligible vehicle and charger. I'm pleased to say all Teslas are eligible, and generally if the charger is a smart one, that's going to be included in the grant as well. I've put a link in the description so you'll be able to find out a little bit more about the OLEV grant. So don't do what I did with the grant. I ordered this, waited 12 weeks for it to come, and then found an electrician, only to be told that they needed to buy the charger and do the rest of the package to be able to claim back the grant, because you don't actually see any of that £500. The electrician claims it on your behalf, so you just get that taken off the bill effectively. So the reason I chose the Zappi unit was because I've got solar panels on my house and it integrates really well, which means I don't really pay for much of my charging. But to get all this installed, I had to get the Zappi unit, I had to get the hub that makes the Zappi smart. I also bought a Harvey that kind of reads the output from my solar panels so it adjusts the power output accordingly, and then labour. All that came to £1,190. The electrician then claimed back the grant, so that's £500 off that, so I actually paid out £690 for full installation and all the extra bits I needed. So back to how this works with the solar panels. Let's say my solar panels are producing 3 kilowatts. In my house I have my TV on, maybe a computer, and my house is using 300 watts. That means 2.7 kilowatts will be taken from this and put into my car. Now a cloud comes over and the solar panels are only outputting 2 kilowatts. I'm still using 300 watts in the house, so now it will only put 1.7 kilowatts into the car. And it literally maps second by second how much your solar output is, so you end up exporting the bare minimum to the grid and using everything you produce, which is great. So what do all these kilowatts and charging rates mean in practice? Well, on the app, you can see how much energy you're drawing from the grid, how much energy is being produced by your solar panels, how much energy is going into your car, and how much is going into your house. And the charger unit at the hub uses all that information to decide which is the most efficient way to charge your car, depending on which way you want to do it. So let's have a look and see what's happening on the screen at the moment. It's saying my car is charging at 4 kilowatts. It's actually charging at 3.7 because Tesla round it to the nearest kilowatt. If you ever want to work out how many precise kilowatts you're putting into the car, you simply take the ampage times the voltage, and that will give you it in watts. And then you divide it by 1000 to get it in kilowatts. So at the moment my car's set to fast charge, so it's charging at 3.7 kilowatts, which is the fastest the charger will go. The sun is producing 2.1 kilowatts of that, although the sun's just gone in, so it's gone to 0.8 now, which means it's drawing 3.2 kilowatts from the grid. Now if the sun comes out again, which it looks like it's going to because the cloud's coming out, there you go, it's gone up to 2.3 kilowatts now, which means my energy usage from the grid is now 1.7. So if we then switch over to eco mode, what that does, it will put a minimum of 1.4 kilowatts into your car, regardless of what the sun is doing. So let's say the sun was producing 0.9 kilowatts, it will draw another 0.5 kilowatts from the grid and make sure your car charged at the minimum of 1.4. If the sun comes out, as it is at the minute, and it's producing 2.3 kilowatts, it takes that excess export and makes sure that goes into the car. So that's why the car's charging currently at 1.9 kilowatts, but 0.4 kilowatts of that being used by the house. You still with me? The final mode is Eco Mode Plus, which has potential to just use green energy. So once the minimum export threshold of 1.4 kilowatts is reached, the car will start charging at whatever the solar output is. If the sun goes in and drops behind a cloud, the car will stop charging. Sun comes out, it'll start charging again. The downside of that is you might end up with not a fully charged car at the end of the day, whereas eco mode will always be putting at least 1.4 kilowatts in. But you do get the option of choosing your ratio of green energy. So I've got mine currently set to 83%, which means when the solar export reaches about 1000 watts or 1 kilowatt, it will start to charge the car and draw the other 400 watts from the grid. So if you didn't want to miss out on that solar energy that you're producing at the start of the day where it's 700 watts, you could actually choose that green energy output so that it starts charging when the solar export is 700 watts. The other options you've got is manual, smart and timed. Manual will just put a certain amount of kilowatts into your car. Smart will have your car charged by a certain time of day. And then timed, which is the one I use the most, will let your car charge at specific times of the day when your electricity rate might be cheap. So for example, I get a cheap electricity rate between midnight and 4:30 in the morning of 5p per kilowatt. That's with Octopus Go. If you're interested in switching to them, I've put a link in the description because we both get 50 quid off our bill if you use my referral code. So if you've got a 7.2 kilowatt charge over the space of 4 hours, you could put in about 28 kilowatts, which would get you 112 miles, which would cost you about £1.40. Now, if you want to get the most out of your solar panels before you install a smart charger, you can actually use the Tesla charging cable. But to reduce the kilowatts that's rated to, you can come into the car, change the charge current and bring it all the way down. And then it will put the bare minimum into the car and actually save you a little bit of money because you'll use more of your solar energy. The downside is it is going to take a lot longer to charge your car. You can also choose how much you're going to charge your car by sliding the slider up and down. So if you've got a big trip plan, you could choose to go to 100%. Or you could do your daily commute down to about 80% here. The alternative, if you don't want to do it into the screen, is you can actually go onto the app and you can do it through that way, and that will give you the percentage so you can set it a little bit more accurately. Even on the sunniest of days with a 3.5 kilowatt solar array, I only find I put about 15 kilowatts into the car, so that's what, 25–30%? And that's because you miss the morning and the evening where the solar export isn't meeting that 1.4 kilowatt threshold. But what I'm in the habit now of doing is every time I get home, I just plug the car in, whether it be day or night, and then because this will kick in and charge when the sun comes out, I don't really think about it, so it naturally keeps my car topped up all the time. When you come to choose where to put your charger, don't forget the charge socket is on the rear back passenger side, so I have to drive my car in forwards to be able to enable this to plug into it easily. If I'm parking on my drive though, it's not a problem. It's got a 6.5 meter cable and it just reaches out into my car. Hopefully that covers everything you need to know about Tesla charging. It really is that simple, and I've just got into the habit now of whenever I come home, plug my car in, and before I know it, the sun started charging it up again. If I haven't covered anything you wanted to know, put it in the comments below and I'll reply as quick as I can. And also don't forget to subscribe for part 2 of this video, which is all the mistakes I made when electrifying my garage, which meant this got limited down to 3.7 kilowatts. Also, a thumbs up is always nice, because who doesn't like positive feedback? Last one, I promise. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.